Hello everyone. So I was going through my bag and I pulled out my 4x4 and I found this. So this piece right here is actually broken up, and I found these pieces in my bag as well, which belong to that piece. So in this video I'm going to go ahead and fix this piece and show you guys how I'm going to do that. So hopefully if you guys ever break any pieces of your cubes, you guys can fix them yourselves instead of trying to order an individual piece, which is pretty impossible, or wasting your money on a new cube. So let's get to it. So in my mind there are really only two ways to fix this piece possibly. For smaller pieces or things that don't really need a lot of strength, super glue is the way to go. It's a lot easier to use. But if you need something stronger, or you're working with a larger piece, especially like a 3x3 or something, and you have more space, you can use epoxy and then fiberglass, which I have a whole bag of. And you would just cut up the fiberglass and then mix up the epoxy and give it some real strength. But in this case, I actually don't need to use that, and that's really a subject for another video because it's a lot more complicated. But for most things you can probably get away with just super glue. So I'll show you the pieces here. On the right here I have the broken piece, and on the left I have a non-broken piece. So this is like the mechanism part. So the piece I am fixing is comprised of two parts. We have the mechanism bottom part and then a cap. So as you can see on the right, there's a piece of plastic that's broken off and goes on like that. So if I had to just glue this and I had nothing else to work with, I would definitely need more than just super glue to hold it there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize this center piece, the center cap I should say, because as you can see both of the broken parts have one or two holes in them that go into these pegs. So those can actually help support the pieces. So I'm actually going to both glue these two pieces together and then glue this piece to the center cap, and that will give it a lot more strength. So I'm going to go ahead and dry fit these together, make sure everything fits nice. As you can see, this cracks at an angle too, so I want to figure out which piece to glue onto the center piece first, because if I do this wrong I probably won't be able to slip on the other piece. So yeah, so that works like that. So I'm going to glue the large chunk on to the cap first and then the smaller piece. So we'll go ahead and always try to use as little as possible. You can see there's not really a lot of contact area here, so you don't really need a lot at all. And if you use too much, it's just going to squeeze out and get all over the piece, and you probably don't want that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some on the pegs, just a tiny bit, and then just a tiny bit on the edge right there, and then put it together. And as you can see, just a very tiny bit of squeeze out, which is what we want. We don't want squeeze out. That's what we're trying to avoid, so that's pretty good. And now I will put some on this peg along the side and then along the vertical part there where that crack was. And that should hopefully be enough to hold it all there. So I do have some squeeze out, so I'm going to grab a rag, just wipe that off as best as I can. And there we go. So I'll come back in a few minutes, put it back together, and see how I did. Alright, so I let the glue dry and I put it back together. And it works just as it did before, so this is a successful repair. So I definitely encourage you guys, if you ever break any of your cubes, at least give it a shot for repairing them. It'll save you a little bit of money and some time as well. And I hope you guys learned something from this video, and thank you for watching.